Hello everybody and welcome to our our first Q&A. Bro, you're meant to be in the shot. Our first Q&A. So I asked all of my lovely followers on Instagram to send me some questions for this. I've not done a quick Q&A before. I've kind of introduced myself a bit in our first ever vlog, but I thought we'd go for a little hack and chat today. So I'm going to get Rubes ready and then we'll go through the questions. Okay, before we can begin the Q&A, we have to get this completely disgusting mud monster looking a bit something like it. You're gross. Ma'am, what do you have to say for yourself? Yeah, I thought so. Go, looking far more presentable and really not enthusiastic about going hacking. Are you a snoozy bean? Oh, Rubes. Come on then. Okay, so, oh my gosh, the sun is so bright. The first question is from the fabulous Shelley, who is at Everyday Eventers on Instagram, and she has asked, when did I start riding? So I thought this was a nice one to start with, actually. So I came to riding quite late. I did my Duke of Edinburgh award. I think it was my bronze that I started with, and I volunteered on a yard. I'd never really been around horses that much before, but I always really wanted to, but my parents weren't horsey at all. And I'd had the odd pony ride that I'd begged for, but yeah, never really got anywhere with it. So I started volunteering on a breaking and schooling yard. So it was kind of like a rehab yard. They took in a lot of horses that had, various problems and things, and then they also backed quite a few. And I ended up learning to ride on my granddad's wife's, so my step-gran. Her horse went for breaking there. Yeah, so I think I was about 13 when I started there, 13, 14. And I learned to ride on my step-gran's horse. Sorry, there was a car before, that's why we're all jolty. Learned to ride there. So I worked for them and they taught me to ride in exchange, which was really cool because I learned to ride kind of on youngsters, not push-button ponies, some quite interesting horses and ponies. And in the end, I ended up loaning a lovely gypsy cob, traditional cob called Mildred. So Mildred came to the yard. She had been bought by a lovely lady who I loaned her off for then. I think it was 4 years then I had her for. And she bought her from gypsies, and she came in a bit of a way. Wasn't really sure about life at all. She was very nervous. But that mare kind of taught me how to ride completely. She brought me on from just kind of trotting around the school, getting used to it all, to cantering around the countryside. And I tried to teach her to jump. Didn't happen. Teaching a novice to jump was not good. But we had so much fun. She took me to my first show. She was amazing. So that was kind of how I started. And then I had to give her up when I went to uni, unfortunately. And by that point I was an alright rider, I would say. I could sit to anything. But I didn't have any finesse, put it that way. You could plonk me on anything and I'd stay there, but I wasn't a pretty rider. And I went to University of South Wales in Cardiff for my first year, and I volunteered at the riding school then, and that kind of kept me going the whole time. I only stuck out a year. I moved home and went to Falmouth Uni after that. But the riding school kept me going. They gave me some lessons, and again I volunteered, worked really hard. At this point I was 18. Yeah, worked really hard in exchange for lessons, and I rode some lovely horses there. One actually was another Grace. I rode a Cloud, she was lovely. Molly too. Loads of lovely horses that brought me on. So I loved it there. And then I moved home. Didn't really ride that much, and then I rode at the riding school near us. I had a couple of lessons there. And then I took on another lone mare who was an absolute handful, to put it lightly. Complete handful. I can't even describe to you. But again, took her on from not really doing much to going out and competing. And that's a story for another day, but unfortunately I then had to give her back, and that was when I bought Rubes. So that is kind of my riding story, not really the conventional way, hence why I have no particular riding finesse, but I enjoy the spicy ones. Okay, so Shelley's next question was, what was my favourite thing about Ruby? That is a tough one, but I've got to say, her zest for life, completely. Like, I will ever know if she doesn't want to do something because she will completely tell me, but her enthusiasm for everything she does is my favourite thing in the world. Yeah, so she'll always tell you how she's feeling. She's usually got her ears forward, she's always keen, particularly if you're jumping. Flat work she's a little bit meh about. But yeah, she just generally loves life, to be honest. I think that's my favourite thing. Shelley has experienced the Ruby Sass bounce when her excitement bubbles up and she bounces along. Yeah, just her all-round love for everything. Good girl. So the next question is, would I ever have a second horse? Not sure Ruby would be so happy about that. Yes, I'd have 5. But unfortunately, time and money means I can't. I'd really love to have a youngster one day, and if the horses ever move home on the farm, then I will definitely have more than one, especially if Ruby comes home, because she can't live by herself. Not that I think horses should have to live by themselves, but you know. Oh, someone's strimming. Yeah, yeah, I would have a second horse, but they'd have to be at home. Yeah, I'd love to have a youngster to bring on completely. But yeah, second horse. Please, if someone would like to fund me, I will buy one. Oh, we've got to stop and look at the cows. It's mandatory. Rubes likes to check out the view. This is mandatory. I'm not actually allowed to walk past. Oh, no, we're not going home. We're not going home. We're not going home. You're a sausage. Let's go. Yeah, we do have to stop and say hello to the cows every time. Every time. You're very sociable, aren't you, Ruby? There's actually a weird fog bank sat out to sea. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if the camera's picking it up well enough. But yeah, really, what happens if I zoom in? I don't know, can you see that fog bank? Bizarre. So, next question is from the lovely Sammy Jackson Photography on Instagram. And she has asked, how am I feeling now Jago's nearly walking, and is he going to do an extra day at nursery? So, feeling quite nervous for the winter. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to muck Rubes out and try and keep a 10-month-old baby entertained. Well, he's 9 months at the moment, but it'll be 10 months when I bring them in, or bring her in. So I'm a bit apprehensive about that, a little bit worried. But I've got some tricks up my sleeve to try with him, and he's pretty good at snoozing in the car as well, so I'm sure I can turn her out while he's snoozing. Good girl, Rubes. God, it's really hard to do this one-handed. More cows! Yeah, so in terms of whether he's going to do an extra day at nursery, no, he currently goes, so my mother-in-law will have him 1 day a week when I go back to teaching. Sorry, we have to, trying to talk to the cows. Oh yeah, look! So she will have him on one of the days, and then he's going a day and a half to nursery, which is quite nice. So I'll be on supply or bookkeeping, like supply teaching or keeping up with my self-employed work. So that's quite a nice balance, I think, and then we've got 2 full days together. So that will be lovely, really lovely. I think it'll be fine, you know. I survived with him in the winter as a newborn. I know he slept a lot, but I feel like I can handle it now. I feel like I can handle whatever life throws at me, and if one day is an absolute disaster, then it's a disaster. You just move on from it. Here's me talking Billy Big Balls. I'll probably be an absolute mess when it comes to trying to balance it all. Hey ho. I think Ruby could blend in quite well with these cows, actually. Here's the view for you guys in the beautiful October evening sunshine. Okay, next couple of questions are from the fabulous Coloured Club Crew 1 on Instagram, and her first question was, what is my biggest horse fear? So I've got 2. The first one is Ruby bolting, me falling off and her tanking off into a road and not being able to find her. That goes through my mind a lot when we're hacking. She has bolted in the past, hasn't done it for a long time now, but I do fear that she'll deck me one day and run off and I won't be able to find her, or I'll like find her in a ditch or something. Good girlie. And the other one is just, yeah, really simply just losing Rue. I don't know what I'll do when her time comes, because she is my absolute sanity. She's taught me a lot, she's made all my dreams come true, and I really don't know what I'd do without her. So those are my 2 big horse fears, all centred around Ruby and her personality, really. Rue's not enjoying the one-handed steering tonight. She keeps thinking we need to turn around, which is fine. We're going to get a little spicy going down the hill, I reckon. Little spicy spice. Oh God. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to film the last couple of questions when the sass bounce kicks in. Dance mode, activate. Here is the gorgeous beach team. And so the second question was, what is my biggest horse achievement? And I've had to think long and hard about this one. I think getting Ruby to load has been an incredible achievement, because that was a battle, and just kind of teaching her that it's not a scary place to be, because she'd always travel perfectly once she was on, but she'd plant and rear repeatedly when I was trying to get her on the box. But now she'll walk straight on. Might take a minute of discussion, but she'll walk on without any kind of faffing. She does it quite confidently, which is lovely. Sorry, this must be really shaky now from the bounce. Doing, 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 doing. Sorry for my singing. If that doesn't tell you I've got an infant at home, I don't know what will. But also completing our first one-day event. I know it was only tiny, I'm not even sure it really counts, but to go double clear and come second in our first ever event, and probably our only event, because Rue is now retired from cross country. Yeah, that was a phenomenal day, just the best day ever. She was incredible. She worked so hard for me, so yeah, I can't fault her really for that. We've just been for a good old canter on the beach. I didn't film it because I have to have two hands on the reins at all times, but she had the best time, didn't you? Showing off for all the people. Good girlie. So next question, how do I juggle the work, life, horse, baby balance? It's a juggling act. This is a question from the Ordinary Horse Owner on Instagram. That is the eternal question. I don't do it well. Yeah, so I'd say that's the $1 million question, really. Definitely having a supportive and understanding other half or person in your life is fundamental. I could not ride and get out and do things like this and have a baby free evening if it wasn't for my husband and my mum and his mum. You know, the people in my life enable me to do what I do. I think just being really strict with yourself with times, being really organised, they're really fundamental to balancing everything. You know, baby comes first, you come first. Baby comes first, horse comes first, then you come first, and then anything else is a bonus. So again, I mentioned earlier, Jago is in nursery a day and a half a week. My mother-in-law has him one full day so I can go to work, and then my mum has him one evening a week, sometimes two, so that we can go out and have a social life where I can ride, James can row, that kind of thing. Yes, just having people around you that get you, get it, get why you do it. Get your child used to the outdoors, bring them with you, get them involved. Jago will be coming to muck out with me every day. That's just the way it is. We're lucky we're on a farm at home as well, so we're so used to being out and about doing it. But yeah, just being really organised with everything you do. Really, really strict. I'm repeating myself now, aren't I? The other thing I would say is I'm fairly lucky that I've got someone else on the yard with me. So although we are on a livery yard and it would be nice if I could have my horse at home, I'm really, really lucky that my best friend also has a horse on the yard. So that means we share jobs, so we don't both come up twice a day unless one of us is riding and it hasn't worked out. So I make sure that everything's done and ready for whatever Beth needs to do. You've all met Beth. But it just means that we're not tied to driving. We're 20 minutes away from the yard. I also book my riding in as if it's an appointment as well. So kind of like a doctor's appointment. You wouldn't give a doctor's appointment up. So why would you give your riding up? Like, that's your time for you, for your horse, to train, to do something that you're passionate about, you know. And I think passion is a big thing. If you're passionate about something, you'll fit it in. You'll do it all. I like going to bed at the end of the day and falling asleep because I'm shattered, because I've done a lot in the day. You know, I love being busy, and I think teaching life has prepared me for that. And I'm hoping that going self-employed will mean I'll have more time. I know I'll probably end up working evenings and weekends, but I'll be able to work my riding more around that and the horse more around that. This is going to be the most difficult years because Jago's so little, but we'll make it work. We always do. We always do. I have given up rowing. Lots of you will know. Well, I've not completely given up. I've just decided not to row at the World Champs this year and push to get in a crew. So that is one big thing. That took up a lot of time. So that should free me up a little bit, not having to train for that too. We are on the home stretch. That was a lovely question, actually. I do get asked that quite a lot, how I balance my time. But I could not do it without the amazing support network I've got around me at all. At all. I owe them everything. Absolutely everything. Okay, final question is from the amazing The Cobb Chronicles on Instagram. If you do not follow her, you need to, because I've never known someone so full of amazing knowledge about horses, their nutrition, the conditions they can have. So yeah, absolutely go and follow her. Well, follow all the people that have submitted questions tonight. I'll try and make sure when I edit this I've popped their handles up. They're all wonderful people, so I highly recommend checking them out on Instagram if you haven't already. Yes, so the final question, what inspires me? That's a tough one. Definitely watching people go out and nail it. You know, there's so many people that I follow on Instagram that are out there smashing it. Loads of mums that are doing it, you know, showing that you're not just a mum, you can go out and still have your hobby. And that really pushes me every day to prove to myself that I can do it too. Ruby inspires me. Her attitude, her zest for life, her love for it. I want to be a better rider because I want to be a better rider for Ruby. And yeah, I just enjoy going out and giving things a go. I like watching other people do it and going, do you know what, I could do that. I could do that. If they can do it, I can do it. Yeah, but all of you guys, you know, just that sums it up. You guys inspire me because watching other people do it just shows that it's accessible to anyone if you work hard. Yeah. On the home stretch, I have a sweaty girl from cantering and then walking up the hill. She's very tired, so she's going to have a few days off, I think. Aren't you, love? Few days off now. Excuse the state of her toilet brush mane. I took to it with scissors. Whoops! Don't do that in a rush. Reeves has had a little wash off. I can't believe it's the 6th of October and I can leave her out, having just hosed her off for her to dry in the last of the October sun. It's like 18 degrees still, it's boiling. And not only is she out overnight still, but she's out overnight completely naked. Beautiful. Right, I'm going to finish the last of my poo picking. Thank you so much to the wonderful ladies who have submitted questions for my vlog this evening. It's very much appreciated. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about us, a little bit more about me, a little bit more about Ruby, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some of our lovely countryside as well. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers and gone. See you next time. Bye.